This is transradio.co.uk.
There we go. Where we have to cut Taylor Swift off there, who has now finally settled her feud with Katy Perry, as you may have read in today's papers. Now it's just gone 8 o'clock. It gives me massive pleasure to welcome Pentacorn. They're a group from Brighton and they're on the line, going to have a chat with us, and then we are going to be playing their album. So hi guys.
Hello.
Hi. So I believe we're a 4-piece band, so if you'd like to all introduce yourselves for us.
I'm Jo, I'm the lead singer. My pronouns are they, them.
I'm Rush, I'm the guitarist. My pronouns are he, but I'll take a they as well.
I'm Mish, the drummer. I'm she or they.
And Angela, bassist, also keyboardist. Every now and again, she or they works for me.
Fabulous. So I see that it was formed in 2016. So do you want to tell us how you guys come about? Who's going to take the lead?
Well, we came about we pretty much through Trans Pride Brighton. A year before that, we started a community project between myself and an ex-member of the band that's no longer with us. And it was like a community project for...
She's still alive, I just want to clarify. She's still alive, she's just not in the band anymore.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Which was basically Maeve Divine. We started off a project which we wanted to do something for the trans community, to get people that hadn't played in bands for years or wanted to play in bands and never had. And we basically decided we were going to put this community project together and actually get like this super trans band to play for Trans Pride Brighton, which would have been 2015. And through the time that worked, we got through Trans Pride Brighton. Our numbers like dropped down from 15 to like I think 6 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, what kind of like we decided to get rid of that, and then Pentacorn was born, and we ended up with 5 members.
And we wanted to write our own stuff. That was one of the differences, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because before we were doing kind of songs we liked, covering them, and we thought, oh, there's so much to write about.
Yeah.
No, definitely. No, that sounds good. So there's now down to 4 of you, I believe. Is that correct? Yep. So
yes,
to you 4 guys that are there, and we're interrupting your rehearsals to get you on the radio tonight. So,
yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to playing your album. Do you want to tell us about it? I mean, I've had a listen to it myself. Really enjoyed it. So if you could just give us a synopsis of the album and the songs in it, etc. How you come about to write all these great lyrics, and how it come about.
Well, it pretty much came about because one of the key things that I thought was missing from a lot of music that is by a lot of bands who may have trans people in it is that the music isn't specifically about trans people. I mean, apart from, there are some notable exceptions to that. Of course, there's Glass, there's Against Me, there are a couple of punk bands out there who do music specifically about being trans. And we kind of wanted to follow along those lines because that's our lived experience. So it just made sense for us.
Right, okay, cool. And when was this recorded?
Last year
Sometime.
Right, okay, cool. And how? I mean, people are obviously going to be listening to it shortly. How would they be able to get their hands on it? If I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are going to want to be able to buy it or what have you, not download it.
Well, we're on Bandcamp at Pentacorn. We're also at iTunes. We're on iTunes. We're also
Amazon Music,
Amazon,
Spotify,
all the things.
Oh, fabulous! So they just Pentacorn. So how did the name Pentacorn come about?
It was a joke. We couldn't think of anything more exciting, so we ended up with Pentacorn because there were 5 founding members. We were the 5-horned unicorn.
Right.
Which, for people who know what a unicorn is, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a unicorn is, don't look it up.
Right, cool. And I believe that you're working on a new album now. Is that right?
Yep. All new stuff. We're working a lot on our sound. So we've gotten angrier. We've gotten louder.
Just new members.
Full of rage.
So yeah, we've gotten louder. We've gotten angrier. Our sound's a lot more together than it probably was in the last album. So
I wouldn't say it wasn't together. I think with the first album that we did, we just went out there, we had fun.
yeah,
And anybody that listens to our album, you'll hear like there's a bit of everything in there. There's like a bit of genre
It's
mixing.
quite eclectic, isn't it?
Yeah. There's
Like
a bit of
there's-
goth, there's a bit of rock, there's a bit
Psych,
of punk,
yeah.
there's a bit of psych. We kind of just went, well, we can do all these different types of genres. Let's put an album together, and that's what we did. And it's not punk. And the only thing is, like with our name, a lot of people assume that we're metal for some reason, and that's the last
That's why
thing
I
that
put
we
off
are.
coming to see you, because I was like, I like metal, but I was like, and then I went to see you, and you were just like 80s goth, and I loved it because you reminded me of Bauhaus.
one of my favourite bands is called Prolapse, and they're not metal. Ooh, like indie pop.
Yeah.
I suppose no, not indie pop. They're better than that. But yeah, but yeah, it's amazing how it can put off people just the name.
Yeah, no, I think people definitely need to listen in and hear your stuff, because as I say, I personally think it's great. So what about seeing you guys live? Have you got any live events lined up at all?
we're hoping to play Trans Pride Brighton this year. We're going to see if we can get a couple of practice gigs ahead of that, although, one of the key issues we have, and this is to any promoters out there, if you want a trans band, we'll play for you. It's really difficult for us to get gigs because we are very, very trans, and our music is very, very trans. So when, like, the normal cis folk promoters hear us, they're probably not as keen as what they could be if they, kind of got us. So yeah, we're very, very trans.
and not the dance type.
No.
Well, fingers
So
crossed.
yeah, any promoters, if you want us to come to your town,
Yeah, our lyrics are pretty much.
Let us know.
Our lyrics are pretty much about trans issues. They're pretty much, some of it. It's like the injustices we go through. Some of the stuff, it's about, like, the one song we got, non-binary, which is basically about being non-binary identified with us. The other one is pretty much it was like a up you to all the TERFs, that's woman. They're pretty much, they're in your face going, what are we singing about trans stuff or mental health stuff, which kind of falls, it kind of
Goes together.
wishy-washy, kind of mixes together, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's important that we're very inclusive as well. We believe in diversity, and that when we say we're very, very trans, it doesn't, it's not a level of trans.
It's not a scale
It
of trans.
it just means, I guess, what Joe's saying is it means that
I think so.
that's our topic, that's our thing.
I think some people might say that we're quite confrontational with
Yeah.
it, but in a way, it's really important for us to speak about the issues that we do speak about, because a lot of stuff seems to be, well, you're getting so much recognition now and things are fine, and actually we need to be reminding people of our roots and where the pride struggles came from, and we need to be reminding people of who those people were who initiated those battles, people like Marsha P. Johnson. We're about kind of upholding those people, raising them up in a way.
And we're standing on their shoulders at the same time.
Yeah, we're thanking them for all the work that they've made that they put in
And that's
for
new.
us to get us to where we are.
Yeah, that's new songs that are coming up. We're busy working at the present moment, practicing getting them right. And there's definitely going to be a lot more of that kind of stuff in our next album that we're going to release, and it's definitely going to be more angry. It's like watching the stuff that was going on last night on the TV. Pretty much I've got a new song in my head, and it's going to be rather angry and rather aimed at some specific type of people. But, that's our life.
Well, I'll be honest, I was actually going to bring up the programme on the TV last night and ask your thoughts on it. So I take it we all watched it, did we?
No.
No.
Our existence isn't a debate, and we've got better things to do with our lives. We have lives to live and dreams to fulfil, and that isn't going to happen if we sit around giving the time of day to people like Jermaine Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can see what Channel 4 were doing, and I actually thought the show was okay. And actually, it was nice to see a couple of people that were on the show be educated. But then when we went on to the debate after, I thought if it was just around the table with just a group, it might have worked. But I think with all the audience and what have you, not for me, it was bad. So I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it in your songs. Because yes, there are, there's a lot of anger about the events that happened in the debate and what have you not. So who writes your lyrics? Is it a joint effort, or is it one particular person?
It tends to be me. I'm Joe. I tend to be quite grumpy, so and I've only gotten grumpier over time. So yeah.
So you grab a pen and
say that I might write the lyrics. I am absolutely ridiculously bad at the actual songs. So for that, and that's the rest of the band. The words wouldn't mean anything without the music. So
okay, so how does a song come about? From you got the initial thought, and then sort of tell people out there that don't really know how these songs come about. So you start off with obviously the initial thought, and give us the process of one of your songs.
Well, it's about 50-50 kind of thing. It's like The Darkness.
The song, not the band.
Yeah. our song, The Darkness. That started off as like a one riff on our one guitarist, which was Maeve, that we were sitting in my private little studio a couple of years ago, and Joe had some words already, and we kind of just stuck them together. And that song kind of progressed from like what it sounds like now on the album to what it sounded like in the beginning. It changed a heck of a lot. But a lot of the time that Joe will either write words down, and then I'll come up with some kind of bass riff and then bring it to the rest of the band. So we've just got a basic idea of what we think it should sound like. And then the rest of the band will like change it and put bits to it and maybe change. We might not even work with the same chord structure. Mm. And then other times that we've come up with complete songs where Joe's had the words, sat me down, and I picked up a guitar, and I'm really terrible at playing guitar, but I can do the basics. And then come up with some basic chords, and then we bring it to the band and go, well, there's the song, let's make it better. And that's kind of how we've kind of done it so far.
We do seem to have an obsession with A. Like the key of A.
The chord A.
Yeah, and like the key as well. And then we like work around it, usually.
Yeah.
And then...
this song is in A. Can we do something not in A?
And
what songs, actually? I was in another band and I wrote a song, and it was all the same chord all the way through. It was called Dole Light by Slobber Legs, and I was so nervous of singing it, I just didn't want to mess it up, so I just made sure it was all one chord.
So who comes up with the names of the song? Once you've produced it, then you've obviously got to give the song a title. Is that done at the start or at the end once it's been produced?
I think the names kind of evolve by whatever we call it as the way we go through practice. So I've had things that I have like this amazing title for it, and I keep trying to use it, and the band just keeps calling it like one of the words out of the song, and then in the end it just gets called that because at least we all know what we're talking about. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I look at this, and there's four songs that are just one word, as we can see, like Sleeping and Nightmare. Was that a nightmare because it was a nightmare produced, or was it just a nightmare?
It was I'm a Nightmare, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, it just got shortened to Nightmare.
Yeah, I'm your nightmare.
Yeah.
Cool. And the next album, when can we expect that out?
We'll let you know as soon as we know.
We're hoping to be perfectly honest, we're hoping the plan is at the present moment, because there's a few things that are coming up that we're going to have to postpone stuff. So our present plan is to go for the end of this year, the beginning of next year, to go into the studio during winter, which is really nice to be in the studio in winter because, you know,
saves the electricity bills.
Yeah, sort of. And also, like, all the amps to keep you nice and warm and everything else. And it's just a nice feeling over that time. Where summer, I don't want to be stuck in a studio. I don't know about you people, but
Yeah, that's true.
I want the sun.
Yeah, I think you'd rather be out gigging. Well, make sure that when the new album is out, that you let us know, and we can give it plenty of airtime, which will be absolutely fantastic. And really, you know, hope to get to see you myself at some point through the summer at one of your gigs. Social media, how do people out there, you know, contact you, get in contact, follow you on social media? What platforms are we on?
The easiest is probably through our Facebook page. We're not massively big on Twitter. My personal view is Twitter is just there so people can shout at each other a lot. The Instagram, we need to get a new Instagram page and put that together. So Facebook is probably our safest bet.
Are we Pentacorn Band on Facebook?
Yeah.
And we're Pentacorn Band on YouTube. There is like one little video that we put together a long time ago, and there is one live gig of us which we did about a year and a half ago, but that was before Rosh was with us, and then Michelle was actually on guitar at that time, and we had another drummer.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll put all the links that you give us, and we'll get them on our social media for people to have a look at as well. So now we're going to play your album. So who wants to give us a quick summary of the album and introduce it?
You go, Mitch. I talk too much.
It's got a few songs on it. It's quite varied. There's some really good guitar lines on it. Just stick with it till the end. I know my dad loved it when he heard it.
Cool, fabulous.
Okay.
Well, yeah, looking forward to listening to it again. So there you go, ladies and gents. Pentacorn, fab band, based down in Brighton. Hopefully be able to see them at Trans Pride this year. Now, hope you enjoy their album.
This is Trans Radio, transmitting throughout the UK and the world. Hit music. Your radio, your station, playing hits 24 hours a day.
This is my station.
Transradio.co.uk. Get social with us at Transradio UK on Twitter and Facebook. This is Transradio.co.uk.
We spend our lives in chains, bound by the thoughts of
is transradio.co.uk.
Frankincense and myrrh.
transradio.co.uk. This is Trans Radio, transmitting throughout the UK and the world. Trans Radio, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, playing all your favourite tunes. Transradio.co.uk. Hit music. Your radio, your station, playing hits 24 hours a day.
This is my station.
Transradio.co.uk.